You've never really worked an office job officially, have you?
No, sir. Never worked 40 hours a week in my life. Never will.
Because it doesn't appeal to you?
Hells yeah.
Really? What about it doesn't appeal? You don't like the idea of showing up in your flip-flops, playing on the internet all day?
Not when I could be out there hustling, not real job style. I was trying to hustle up some money.
You have a real job, and in some ways, quite frankly, it seems a little more miserable than mine.
Oh, yeah. I got to wear a uniform, a polyester uniform. It's got to be black. You know what I should say about my job is that...
Which, for those that don't know, you've mentioned it, so I can say it, right? Olive Garden, bartender.
This is why maybe we can't mention it.
Uh-oh.
Ed, who wrote our theme song, who is on the fast track to Olive Garden management, going to be opening up a store in Wenatchee, fingers crossed. There's some employee handbooks that they had to hand out at work and have everybody sign, and I think they're supposed to just read through a chapter with each person who individually this one applies to. And Ed, God bless that little cutie, he's so nice about it. He's like, oh, hey, I got to get your signature on this. It's real dumb. But, hey, I wanted to show you this chapter about not talking shit about where you work on the internet. And there was specifically a chapter
You're kidding me.
Like internet blogging and stuff like that, and how I can't make fun of people who I work with, like the working hard or hardly working guy, or the mildly retarded Obama lover. Anybody like that, I'm not allowed to make fun of on the podcast anymore. Or I could be fired.
That is the craziest thing. Do you think you would be fired over something like that? I'm talking about your management specifically. Would they take that much offense? Because
someone
the impression I have is a lot of your coworkers already are aware of this show, right?
Yeah, now I wish they weren't. Well, I've always wished they weren't. I hate it when they come up to me and...
Especially when you're bad-mouthing them.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Anytime someone does come up to me, I always make sure, I give them a list of people who to make sure never to mention the podcast, too.
Right.
I thank them for a download, and I give them a plain Brotherhood lighter.
I was just thinking about the fact that I've never really talked about my job so much.
Right, yeah. I always end up...
I know. You've always been more open about it. I mean, I've made it clear that I have an office job, and I think that's enough. Like, every office job is basically the same. Mine is pretty lax. I've worked there for close to 4 years now, and I'm thankful for my job because I can show up in flip-flops every day. I keep saying that as if I've ever worn a pair of flip-flops.
Hey, you walk to work. You walk like 40 minutes to work every day. How inconvenient would flip-flops be?
Plus, they're inconvenient anyway, quite honestly. But I'm just saying it's a very lax dress code. Like, it's very casual. Every day is Casual Friday, and I love it. And I'm in a position in my job now. I got promoted a couple of years ago, and so basically I'm a manager within my team. I'm walking on eggshells here. I don't want to lose my job, even though I probably already have. I guess that's what I'm getting
Say
at.
what you're comfortable with, buddy.
Okay, all right. I'm comfortable with everything. Throw it at me. Ask a question.
I have no questions.
Better
Your job
yet.
bores me immensely.
And it would. Like, it's a boring job, but it's not boring for me because if I'm going to be bored at work, I may as well be bored and enjoy my flip-flops and have access to the internet all day.
Yeah, see, if I could...
The reason I'm so obsessed with Twitter is because I have the job that I have. Like, there's no reason...
Twitter.com/planbrohood.
Yeah. You going to give the wrong phone number for that?
I am twitter.com/PJTheGay.
Yes.
I guess if I had to get used to working the 8 to 4, 40-hour work week job that you do, I would like yours. Obviously, I would want to be able to wear whatever I want and just be on the internet all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I would just be staring at the clock the whole time.
Really?
The whole time. Oh my God, it would be so boring.
Yeah, there's not really. I mean, few and far between are there rushes. Like,
I'll tell you what,
I
I wouldn't pick pictures of my office. You know who you are on Twitter. You vast amounts of boring people.
I thought you were talking about one specific person, but yeah, that's at least
I kind of am. I can't talk shit about work. I just shouldn't talk shit about anybody in Yakima. Clue? Okay, go ahead, Twitterverse.
Yeah, so it's a job I've become comfortable with. I got hired onto this job because of somebody that I knew from several years before who happened to be the hiring manager. It was after the whole grocery store debacle, which if you haven't heard it, go back because I'm not going to tell the details of that again.
Episode 30-ish.
30 or 31, sure.
Yeah.
Uncle Tracy's first visit to the show. We talked about shortchanging. It was enthralling. But, yeah, so I've had this job for quite a while, like I said. Moved myself up to a pretty good position, a pretty good, I will say salary pay. Come on.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. I didn't know what that was before I had this job.
Sick as often as you want.
I have a 401k plan.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people that I work with have become fairly good friends. Jeff, twitter.com/Fedge, episodes 10 and 11. I met him through the job that I have. Not that he works there currently, but he did at one time. And, a couple other people we've mentioned on the show. Aiden, a friend and an inspiration for the podcast. Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. So it's been a good job for me. I've made good friendships and I've made good money that I've squandered, but I still made
beautiful.
it. Yeah. I'm not trying to boast. And especially when I get to what I'm getting to.
I'm not jealous of your job.
Actually, I've got 2 stories work-related because I don't do this often, so we may as well get them both out of the way. One of them is I am...
What's the name of your company again?
You almost had me, buddy. You almost had me. So recently, I was in the position for the first time within this company to... be somewhat responsible for who we hired within my department is expanding now, and so we're hiring a new person, and I
heard your apartment's expanding too. Aren't you guys knocking down a wall?
Yes. So my apartment is expanding. We're knocking down a wall. I got to find somebody that's got the guns for it, and we interviewed a few different people. It's basically my job, except for the grunt part of my job. Like the shit that I shouldn't have to deal with so I can focus on other things. So we interview a few people.
By other things, you mean like IMing me all day long and trying to arrange screenings for the room.
Okay. We don't know who's listening. So I've never been the interviewer. Have you ever been?
God, no.
No?
No.
It's a weird thing. And
I have to refuse to do it. That's one of those things that I know I couldn't do.
I couldn't have done it except for it was like a group interview. Like it was more than just me that was interviewing these particular people, which is kind of more intimidating. Like if that had been me when I got hired on this job 4 years ago and it wasn't somebody I knew, it would have been pretty terrifying to have 5 different people asking me separate questions. And of course, I volunteered to go last every time.
That just makes me think of things like I remember in school I was in the advanced classes, and they'd have us doing advanced things like debates and whatnot. They would divide us up, and you wouldn't get to choose which side you were on. They would just say, like, I remember one example was like about killing animals for research purposes, and I was supposed to be for it. And I think that I ended up on the for it side because there was this bully at school who terrorized me relentlessly. Her name was Siobhan, and she was on the other side of the argument, so I ended up being on this one. And it was like that. It was like going down the line of 6 or maybe 7 kids, those of us who were the smartest in school. And when it was coming to me, I would just...
After this, tell a story about how you got kicked out of gifted classes. But continue.
I would just dread when it came to my turn. And I remember my big point was, well, who would you rather have killed, you or an animal? Like, it didn't even make sense to anything at all. Like, that's how nothing I had to contribute to that story.
You want to debate? I'll fucking debate.
I got kicked out of...
Oh, I said that as a joke because you keep bragging about being in gifted classes, but really, who can brag about it when they got kicked out for being dumb, right?
No, I didn't get kicked out for being dumb at all. I got kicked out for
what it comes down to is that you are pretty dumb.
No.
And people started to pick up on that.
No, this is what happened. I was really smart, and I think I intimidated the teacher, and I was way smarter than him. No, he was a guy who was...
That's what every dumb student says.
He was Mr. Hall at Baker Middle School. And
sounds like a made-up name.
He was really annoying, and I'd always say sarcastic things to him, and he'd get really mad. And then his wife gave me detention once because I put a sign on the back of a girl that said I'm dumber than the average bear. And I think he heard me talking shit about his wife after that happened. And he just asked me, he was like, someone who really wants to be in this class, I could make room for them if you don't want to be here anymore and you just want to leave. So I did. And like his revenge, this was in 6th grade, his revenge was to put me, I'm sorry, this was 7th grade, was to put me in like the dumbest fucking class possible, where all of the dumbest kids in school were. And if you got the most basic question to any sort of oral test, because there was no written test, right?
Gold star?
They would throw you a candy bar.
Wow.
It was the best time of my fucking life.
I was going to say,
this is so great. Like, all of a sudden, I didn't have 9 pieces of homework every night. It was like homework right there that the teacher just told you what answer to write down.
Yeah, man, you really scammed the system there. Yeah. That's actually, wow, that story ended better than I thought.
Yeah.
I really put you on the spot there because I wanted it to be humiliating for you to relay it.
No, I loved getting
candy bar, sure.
What was it going to help me get into college or high school for that matter?
Yeah.
Although had I gone to high school, they were going to like put me in some sort of advanced math class, but I never went to high school. So anyway, your work.
My work. Oh yeah, back to that.
You're on the hiring committee. So do you hire based on like cleavage? Are girls coming and showing their cleavage? It's a rough economy, brother. You got to get a job somehow.
You know what?
I hear Wall Street women are going to strip clubs instead, making 4 times the money.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't believe me, watch any episode of Inside Edition. They're always interviewing one of those whores.
For this particular position, I'd say I'm trying to think, but I think we interviewed 4 different people. Mm-hmm. 3 of them were guys. The one that happened to be a girl is the one that happened to be hired, and also happened to be the one that I happened to fall in love with. A little bit. A little bit.
So out of the 4 guys and her, she was the one you most wanted to fuck.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fair. And I don't know what it is about her. Anyway, she let's cut right to it. She did eventually get hired, and then I ended up training her, and now she works back-to-back in the same office as me, and has listened to the podcast. So despite the fact that she's basically married, if she happens to hear this, just know I'm thinking what you're thinking, buddy. Let's make it go. Right?
Yeah, right.
When I fall in love with a girl, especially at work, which hasn't happened in a while, and I wouldn't even say I'm really in love with her, but she is Asian, supposedly. And I didn't know that until actually I think there was something on her resume that indicated that she was Asian.
Yeah.
Is that something you put out there on paper?
I'm so not into Asians.
I know. I mean, we've talked about this before, but you should be because they're the hottest girls out there.
I don't think I should be. I had friends in Pearl Harbor.
I remember you having a Tara Patrick phase. Is that incorrect?
Oh, yeah. She's pretty fucking hot.
Okay. So I
think I just saw some Tara Patrick.
If all Asians had unusually huge tits.
No, I like Tara Patrick pre-huge tits. I mean, I like her posts, too. But, when they were just regular, when they were her own.
So if all Asians wore whorish eye makeup.
No, it's just something I just don't like that people like someone just because they're Asian. It's like when guys like...
Hey, I fucked a girl that wasn't... In fact, let me go back. I've never fucked an Asian.
Oh,
never
okay.
kissed an Asian.
But it's like when guys like girls with huge asses... No matter like how misshapen,
you don't like a big ass,
and obviously dimply said ass could be, they just love it because it's huge. Like I don't get that. Like that's not. No, that doesn't count. That's not it. Like I don't want to fuck every Mexican girl just because she's Mexican.
No, and I don't want to fuck every Asian girl just because she's Asian. She has to be hot too. But I think Asian, if we're talking about hot girls exclusively, Asians are hotter than white girls?
Than Mexicans?
Than Mexicans?
I don't think so, guy.
Than black girls? Oh, dude. Seriously.
I know that everyone's going to agree with you because you know why? Everyone is a fucking sheep. And they're just all part of the majority.
Oh, yeah, because the majorities love Asians.
Yeah.
No.
No, the majority of white guys
No.
on the internet
No.
are looking up Asian porn.
I am a pocket on the Craigslist pool as far as my love for Asians goes.
Was that some sort of masturbation reference?
No. Oh, yes.
Just
as it
pocket and
turns
pool
out.
in the same sentence.
I was trying to be deep, but really that's what I was getting at, I guess, yeah. Anyway, this girl, going back to this girl, we trained her. She's working at my office. I'm kind of in love with her. She's basically married. She's also Asian, supposedly, and I don't know what it is about her, because there are certain things about her that drive me fucking bonkers. Like, she does the smacking of the gum.
Yuck.
But in a way where it's like she has 8 Bubbleishes in her mouth at once and is chewing it and is smacking it. And
she's always frying something up in that wok she has in the office.
Yeah, and that stinks it up, dude. That's no fun for anybody.
Not to mention, like, especially like within the office, she's the worst driver. Like, she's always fucking bumping into people and going.
But exceptional at math, which helps with her position. So, unrelated to this, but very related, is another guy. Let me go back. There's a guy that works at our office. He does something on the technical side of our office, and so I hardly ever deal with him. Anyway, I have to.
That's reason 1 why he's a virgin. Reason 2 is coming up, right?
Yes. This guy got hired probably a year ago, and I had heard early on into his employment there that, not through him directly, but somebody else, that he is Jehovah's Witness, an active Jehovah's Witness, which, as any listeners of the show know,
snap.
Bad idea. Yeah. And so another guy who was training him shortly before he left the company, this guy was basically taking his place, had mentioned to him that we do indeed have a podcast. And this guy, the Jehovah's Witness, I'll just call him J-Dub for the sake of it. So J-Dub is aware that we have a podcast, knows nothing about me aside from that. So whether he listened to it or not, he somehow knows in his heart of hearts that I am no longer Jehovah's Witness, but that I at one time was. And so he's especially offended by me.
By the way, if anyone's not paying attention, being a Jehovah's Witness is the second reason why this guy's a virgin. Just want to make sure that got out there.
Yeah, it's out there.
And also proof that he believes in fairy tales.
You're telling me a snake did not talk to Eve, PJ? Give me a fucking break. Read your books. So this guy has it in for me. There are certain things that I need him to do for me in order to do my job. And anybody else that was in that position prior to him was always on top of it. And not only is he not on top of it, but he blatantly ignores me. Like, to the point where I've had to go to management. And I hate to be that asshole, but you got to do that sometimes. Like, if somebody's just intentionally not cooperating with you. And I've done nothing to this guy. I'm sorry that he's listening now and is offended. That's not my fault. This is separate from my work. This will eventually be my only job.
Yes.
So, like, we've been butting heads since the beginning. Not that he even makes a point to talk to me ever. Like, if we're in the break room alone at the same time, he'll turn around and leave. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, this guy just does not like me. And, being raised as a Jehovah's Witness, I know that it's not his place to try and develop friendships within the workplace. But when it comes to work-related issues, absolutely talk to me.
Well,
you're getting paid for what you do.
He's representing Jehovah, my friend.
No, he's not. Not in that sense. He's not.
He's supposed to be, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's doing a piss-poor job.
Yes. And let me go on further as to what a piss-poor job he's doing as Jehovah's Witness. Because another big rule, in addition to, obviously, if you're not allowed to talk about non-work-related issues to coworkers because you'll be drawn into their worldly ways, girlfriends, definitely only within the religion and only when you're considering marriage, no premarital sex. Yes. So lots of strict rules when it comes to that. This girl comes along that we hired that I mentioned earlier, the semi-Asian that I'm kind of in love with, semi-in love with. Turns out he's in love with her too. And do you know how I know? Because she fucking tells me, I forgot to tell you about the cute little old lady friend relationship that her and I have developed, because she's in my office. She's been there probably a month and a half now.
You guys share an office.
Yeah, we share an office. We're back to back in chairs. So we're sending each other links sometimes. It's just a cute little thing. We make little jokes. We talk about the weather. You name it. She's picturing me naked. Definitely. But whatever. And then this.
God, you just made me picture you naked like that time before we went to Disneyland. Ugh.
We've got our own thing going. It's absolutely adorable. And then this guy, this Jehovah's Witness from across the office, she has been here for a month and a half probably at this point, and he has never made a point to say hello to her. She doesn't even know who he is when he IMs her for the first time. And from across the office, keep in mind, 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And he just starts picking up on her. Like, I couldn't believe it. And the only reason I know this happened is because she immediately called me up. This is who I am. I am like her gay friend that is never going to see her vagina.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but, like, I realize that's my position, and that's fine. So she's like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And so I look at these IMs, and it could not be more sleazy, dude. The guy, like, starts with, hey, I'm blank. And we got to come up with a code name. Oh,
JW.
JW.
Yeah.
Hey,
like the uncle from Great Balls of Fire.
really?
His name is JW. Trust me.
Wow. Okay. I trust you.
I'll tell you what, JW. I'm gonna fuck that daughter.
I thought it was a cousin.
Paraphrase.
Cousin.
It was JW's daughter.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm JW. How are you doing? Fine, thanks. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, nothing is even developed yet, and she's already cluing me into it. I love it. I love every second of it because I hate this guy anyway, and I just want a reason to make fun of him, especially to her, because that's impressing her probably. So within 3 sentences that he sends to her via IM, he asks her if she has a boyfriend.
To which she responds,
Yes, a boyfriend, a serious boyfriend of 5 or 6 years. You think that would stop it right there. And before we continue, this is a huge deal to me because this guy doesn't talk to me because he's so avid in his Jehovah's Witness ways, and yet he's blatantly hitting on a person that's not within the religion, which is against the religion.
Right, yeah. Well, we all make our exceptions to the rules and shit.
Yeah. When you want to get your...
What are Jehovah's Witnesses if not hypocrites?
Exactly. I guess I should have expected it, yes. Yeah. So anyway, he goes on, and even after hearing that she has a boyfriend, he's going for it, full-fledged. And it's gross because the whole time, like, even when they would bump into each other in the break room from this point on, he still has never said hello to her in actual life.
Awkward.
Yeah. It's one thing to develop an internet relationship with somebody. Like, I can't blame somebody for that. I've done it before.
I can because I haven't.
Oh, good for you. No, I understand the internet relationships to a degree. Like, that's just where we're at as a society. If somebody needs to do that or wants to do that, they can do that. Don't develop an internet relationship with somebody that's 15 feet away from you.
Yeah, exactly. And then what's with not talking to her in the break room? Like, doesn't he realize how awkward that makes it look? Or maybe she won't know that this is the same guy who's IMing her? Is he trying to keep it like a mystery? Does he give himself a code name?
No, he doesn't give himself a code name.
He's not, Jack Bandit.
Is that Doug?
Yeah.
Oh, God, wow.
I like
can't believe I pulled that.
Reference every now and then. See you after the break, Nick.
But to top everything off, like, he's already pissing me off because of his worldly ways. And then he's hitting on her, and it's gross, and it's a big joke between me and her now. And, I fashion dresses for her. But it gets to a point, like, this is less embarrassing than anything I've already said about the guy, kind of, because he's already making an ass of himself. But what puts it in your head that it's cool at this point, not saying hi to her in the break room, but flirting with her maliciously, I'll say, on IM, and then to send her an email, Word document attachment, 16 pages of a sci-fi novel I'm writing. I want your opinion. Right?
That's pretty fucking bad. And then still not talk to her in person.
I would love to see the sci-fi novel. I could not believe it until she showed me. I wish I even knew the title. Whatever the title is, when it eventually gets published, if you turn the book around, it'll be a picture of George McFly on the back as an old man.
I'm going to be honest. I think I smell a rape coming. I really do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I agree with you. Rape is prominent within Jehovah's Witness religion. I don't mean to sound apostate.
Do you ever think of like pulling some scam with her, like My Boyfriend's Back style, where
I come back from the dead?
Where you get someone to like pretend to like be knocking her down and raping her, and you come in and you swoop in to save the day. Really, it's just your friend faking it, but then it turns out to be a real burglar, and you get killed, but then you come back.
No, I already
think still decomposing.
I think she already knows me well enough to know that I would not be that guy.
Yeah, if all of a sudden
so it just seems suspicious. Yeah,
said halt.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, a little suspicious.
Speaking of my spinelessness, just one more thing about work. And I don't know how cool this is to talk about. I haven't said the name of my business, right?
No.
So it's fine. I've been there.
What's your email address? nick@what.net?
Wow. That is too close for comfort, friend.
Safe to say you're a real asshole at work, right?
Unfair.
I mean, everyone. I got to hear every fucking day about what an asshole I am at work and how I'm making the 18-year-old girls cry and bullshit like that. But
I'd say the main difference between my assholishness and your assholishness is the assholishness that I dish out is deserved and is losing our company money.
It is okay. Yeah, I'm not rude to customers or anything like that, but the assholishness I dish out is definitely deserved by the people who get it.
None of my assholishness is towards people that I actually work with face to face. Our company is small. We have 15 to 20 people that I see every day. And I am fine with those people. Like I have my own personal issues, sure, with a few of them, and you know there has been intensity, but for the most part, it's been okay as far as that goes. But I am on the phone a lot. I am a lot with people that work not in. How can I say it without saying it? We are an affiliate-based company.
Okay.
I am the affiliate manager, meaning we have people that work for our company and depend on my insight, but that don't necessarily work there in the office. Right?
Correct.
So I manage...
And not necessarily in the state or in the city.
No.
This
in
intensity...
fact, in some cases, in most cases, I will say, outside of the country.
So this intensity could be felt in up to 10 cities. Correct?
Correct. Party on. When I first got hired into this company, I worked a customer service position, and then you really have no choice. Like, I hate to be the guy that says the customer is always right, but if you want to keep your job and you're working customer service, the customer is usually right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why you say, like, you're an asshole, but to coworkers and not your customers. You know where the money's coming from. Mm-hmm. So I worked that position for probably a year and a half, hated every second of it, because it is on the telephone, and I'm one of those guys that will put somebody on hold and say every malicious, horrible thing I can think of, and then take them off of hold and be fine. And that's what you have to do sometimes. I got a lot of tension balls when it came to Secret Santa every year. But it was something...
Dumb Secret Santa gifts. I know you're being serious. Your Secret Santas are idiots.
No, that's...
Okay, Nick.
They felt it was necessary.
They work.
Anyway, I'm making it sound like it was... I really was good on the phone at that point. I was so green, and I was so thankful for the job. Making more money than I'd ever made, even in the shitty position, you know? And benefits, everything else. So then, as I mentioned, it's affiliate-based as well, and the affiliate department had an opening, and the manager of the department at the time liked the cut of my jib. He would walk by and hear me on customer phone calls and felt I had good phone etiquette and that I could basically just handle myself pretty well. And despite what listeners may think, because I'm so drunk all the time when we record this, and yes, I am bragging, I actually do have a kind of eloquence about me.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yes. You should work customer service, dude.
I can also handle myself well. Hello.
So they were impressed by my phone skills. They moved me into this department. And soon after, that manager quit, and then all of a sudden I was the manager. And for a long time, the only one within that department. And so our company was kind of in upheaval anyway. Like, there were a lot of changes going on, blah, blah, blah. And I basically just had this position and had to learn it myself. Good times, up until recently. Then there's been a shift change again.
I will say... Well, I don't know. Is this too early to mention, like, your IM conversations that you've had with people?
Let's go into that.
I will say that when I'm with you on IM and you're with some of these affiliates on IM and you say, oh, this Bangladeshi is making me so mad.
First of all, I work with no Bangladeshis, no offense. That's true, too.
You know, every time I take a shit, I got to think about these guys and their skin color and stuff like that. And you would forward me these IM conversations you're having with these guys where they're really asking basic questions like, oh, can you help me with something?
How dare you? You don't know what a basic question is in my job.
By time log, you can see that you haven't answered them in 18 minutes. And then if they ask if you're still there, you're basically saying, yeah, fucker, it's going to take a little time. Be patient, idiot. And you just forward these things to me. And I'm just saying to myself, wow, Nick is such a fucking, like, I can never be that mean.
Oh, over I am? Yes, you can.
To a customer at work. No, I wouldn't. Because I am too afraid to lose my job.
Okay. Let me stop you right there. And I realize that it almost seems like I'm bragging, I guess. Like, it sounds real asshole-ish that I'm forwarding you these IM conversations like I'm so proud of them. But really, sometimes I am. I am?
Got it.
The only conversations I forward to you that are so brutal are a result of the fact that, and it's hard to explain without explaining what my company does, but most of the affiliates I'm on guard because they are frauding our company.
Yeah.
They are losing us money. There's no reason I should put up some front and pretend to be their friend when I can see blatantly, based on statistics that we have, that they're doing nothing to earn us money, and more than that, they're losing us money. I am not going to be a fake friend with somebody based out of India because they know my phone number.
Yeah, but do you have to, like, it's so amazing how you even type out offensive things, like that time you typed out, oh, especially since
that's
Native American as well.
I know.
It's not that kind of Indian.
I know. That was pretty offensive. Been working this position for a little while now. Felt like I had my ground. All of a sudden, turnover, people moving into the company that don't like where I'm headed. Which I understand. Like, I dress like a slob every day. Everybody can. Nobody does except for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at. But I also feel like I've built quite a rapport with several people within the company, including the owner of the company. Or, excuse me, not the owner, the main manager, COO, whatever. Anyway, I get called into the office. Today is Thursday. This was Monday. So this is fresh. I get called into the office and talked to about my attitude, which is really hard to hear. And like you said, like, you have evidence. I am evidence that I can be an asshole. It's just hard to be called out on it by my boss, I guess. And he calls me into his office, and it starts out sweet enough, just asking how the week's been going, blah, blah, blah. Not really. That's a Monday.
Hey, any problems at home, Nick? Everything going okay?
Yeah. How's your dad? Do you talk to your dad? No, but it gradually turns into a conversation about how when I first moved in this position, it was because of my phone etiquette. And basically what it came down to was one particular affiliate out of the literal hundreds that I deal with had the sense to be offended by me and then go to our owners about it, found their email address, and the owners of my company, whether they have any idea who this guy was or not, they hear one complaint, they're like, oh my God, this guy's got to be talked to, fired if necessary.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I got called in there. But basically, I'm on a probation period right now. I have 2 months to shape up or ship out. And that is amazing because, like, I realized it was stupid of me to do so, but I've grown kind of comfortable with the company. And I don't want to look for a new job. And I like the people that I work with, and I am obviously making every effort now, but I also don't feel like I'm totally in the fall. My main defense, PJ, and podcast listeners, is that, I'll say it again, the only people, this person who turned me in, this asshole who then turned to the owners and said, this guy is an asshole. Is, right? Nope, I didn't ask because I don't want to know. If I knew, it would make it worse. But whoever this was,
I knew he'd be in trouble.
Whoever this was, the only reason I would have been an asshole towards them is because they are frauding our company. There's no reason to have them on board anyway, and yet we continue to suck their dicks and lose thousands of dollars per affiliate out of the hundreds that we have.
I am in an uproar over this. This upsets me.
Shut the fuck up.
It upsets me. I see where you're coming from.
I thought this was a good idea to talk about.
I don't want them to defraud.
Your eyes have been glazed for the last 15 minutes.
I don't want any Bangladesh to defraud my brother. I'm serious.
PJ, I'll tell you what I told them.
I know that you're not racist. You support them. You watch Slumdog Millionaire, which really means you're just supporting the British and the illegal sale of children.
Okay, I'm done with work now because I'm probably fired based on this alone.
This seems like the wrong time to put it out there on the internet.
It sure
to
does.
Finally be willing to talk about here, but you know what? We've gone like 40 minutes now.
Yeah,
and I can't go any longer tonight. So this is the episode.
No.
No, I don't mean this is the end of the episode. I mean we're not starting over.
This is just
scratch.
the beginning, guy. You know why?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he mentioned
that.
something 2 minutes ago. I want to get back to
Dev Patel.
Yes, Slumdog Millionaire.
God, are you serious? This is what you wanted to come back to?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Give
me the floor for a fucking minute.
Got it.
You talked about your job for 40 minutes. Can I have a fucking second?
You have got it.
So, Slumdog Millionaire, apparently you're that one guy that thinks he's cool impressing the crowd by saying, I'm not going to watch it because it won Best Picture. Right?
Fuck yeah. You know what else? I won't watch Titanic. You know why? Because Leonardo DiCaprio's a fag.
Right, that's you.
Worst actor ever.
And I say this to you. It's not a video podcast. It is my middle finger, however.
I'm not going to watch Slumdog Millionaire because I think it's stupid. I don't want to watch, every question reminds me of something in my life.
Okay.
I don't want to be forced to like something that I know is going to be a piece of shit, just like I knew My Big Fat Greek Wedding was going to be, but everyone talks
because
about
they're the
how
same
great
movie. They deliver the same
it's
message.
Got the
You're
same
absolutely
fucking
right.
hype. It's got all the same fucking hype. And how boring are the Oscars?
It's got the same hype.
How boring are the Oscars when you know what's going to win everything?
I didn't know. In fact, it still surprised me that Mickey Rourke did not win for The Wrestler.
I thought Josh Brolin was going to get supporting actor. I really did.
No, you didn't.
Over Heath?
I watched Slumdog just last night, so that's the only reason I want to talk about it, because it's still fresh in my head. I recognize that the premise is pretty ridiculous, like you said. Sure, and spoiler alert, that's the name of the episode. People will get it. He's earning money, but you don't know why until you watch the money, why he's trying to be on the show, why he eventually ends up on the show. But it is true, and again, spoiler, that every question that comes up that makes him a millionaire ties in personally to his life and prompts a flashback.
Oh.
Okay, so you got to get past that gimmick.
Chronological flashback?
Chronological flashbacks.
Really?
Yes.
So every question was like the perfectly tailored fucking question.
But when Danny Boyle movies, think about, did you see Millions?
No.
Same like magical overtones. Like that's just what he's been up to lately. I'm not saying I agree with it, and I agree that was the weakest point of the movie. I'm still saying the movie is worth watching, because if you're not thinking about how you got to those flashbacks, those scenes are really compelling and really good.
Find a different angle. Find a different way. I realized that it was based on a book and everything like that.
Was it? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It was stupid.
You also claim that these Indian kids are British?
Yeah, at least Dev Patel is a Brit.
How much could I get on the black market for a Dev Patel?
Well, you know, he's no ordinary kid. He's an Oscar kid.
Right.
I'm going to say about $300K.
$300K?
Yeah.
Nice. If I put them on Craigslist, do you think I'll get killed? See, I'm bringing 2 topics into one there.
Nice. It's all about topical. A couple weeks late. But
yeah, I was going to say, except for the fact this will come out next year.